Brown. Yes, you say something too. What you got to say? Yes. Now, I'm going to throw you out the car in a minute, young lady. Yes. Go on. How'd you get? Uh, I'm busy. I'm busy. I have a broadcast to make to the world. Hmm. All right, all right. Shh, shh. Can't you see I'm busy? Do you want me to chuck you out? I will. I'll chuck the cat out. Don't mean to be rotten, but you know what it's like. Why? Yeah, all three people, all of a sudden, hello everybody. Hello everybody. All Bobby Whitlock fans, welcome. But don't expect me to be nice about him because my final judgment on the man is not a nice one. And I'm sorry, the only reason I ever defended him in the first place because I know my place in society, and I know that John Heaton is a better man than myself. He's from old blood, and what can we do? I can't fight against that. I can't fight against that, and he's entitled to his wrong opinion. But I can't do anything to adjust that, John Heaton. Not after what I found out. You know, I don't know. I don't think you're a pet owner. I've never seen you stroking a dog or a cat. Probably you're allergic to animals. But the Lord of the Manor generally has a bunch of dogs in the house, which are well trained and well obedient and very snobby usually. So, John Heaton, most bitter apologies to you, and this I hope it will not affect our friendship. Even if I know my place, Ronnie Corbett, I know my place, right? But I'm not doing it to attack you. I'm doing it to attack the Harrisons and the Whitlocks and the whole stinking mess. I have made my judgment. My judgment is that Bobby Whitlock deserves nothing but eternal hell in his life, eternal hell on this earth and in the next life. And if you think, you know what I mean, be kind to the fairer sex. Yes, perhaps, but not the fairer sex if it plays a saxophone and instead of playing the saxophone goes, ha, ha, like on the Muppet Show. You know, that bloke at the end with the baldy head, he goes, bam. Now that's not playing the saxophone. That's just honking. You know, you can be in a car with Mexicans and they do the honking. Coco, that's not saxophone. That's fraud. That's fraud. And I don't trust your engineering skills either. I think you would have made a worse job of All Things Must Pass because you would have tried to have found Bobby. And it's not it's like looking for the Holy Grail. You can't find it. Phil Spector somewhere has got any trace of Bobby Whitlock on All Things Must Pass, and he died in prison a long time ago. It's lost. It's an enigma wrapped in a shroud in a fucking mystery. That's what it is. And this is what we got to do. Oh, I thought you was for a minute. I thought you was Gary Wright. Bobby Whitlock's arch enemy. I thought it would have been good to talk to Gary Wright and say, listen, Gary Wright, what happened there? Did Bobby play? Didn't he play? Who's telling the truth? Who's lying? Who's being paid? Who's not? You know what I mean? But what I'm concerned about is I think they've sent Bobby in an effort to shut him up. I think they sent him the wooden box. Well, we'll call it the wooden box, just like the wooden horse, yeah? Anyway, I think he just got the box and then he thought, oh fucking hell, why isn't this a gold plated box with a special letter from the Queen inside saying this is a masterpiece, I wanna suck your cock, Bobby, even if it takes me 6 years, I want to suck your cock. And that's how long it would take him to get started. Yes. So yes, I know you know Bobby Whitlock as well, don't you, because you've heard about him with animals. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. Listen, darling. Don't listen. She's called Luska, right? And she is a Russian cat. She's a Russian cat, so she only speaks Russian, but she understands Whitlock Bobby, don't you? Yeah? Yeah, see, I told she understands Bobby Whitlock, and she trembles in fear. I'm sorry, Lelushka. Right, I'm sorry about this. He is an evil brute who and Coco, who's drive towards designer pets. Oh, I like this cat. Dominic down in Houston, Texas, playing with the fucking horny brothers, is very fond of nice young puppies, and he says he loves anybody that loves puppies. So we've just gone and bought ourselves a new puppy, and guess what? Old Fred, who's been with us for 10 years, we've got no use for him anymore. He's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? He farts. He woofs. We can't be bothered to take him out for his regular walk. But, you know, you can change the modern puppy into a home dog, which does not require walking and will be dead after 3 years, and you can replace him with another puppy. But not so old Fred. No, old Fred's been with the family for a long time. And listen, Bobby, if you're out there, now put yourself in old Fred's shoes. You remember when George Harrison didn't invite you back for the concert for Bangladesh? You know, where's my invite? Bobby's out there. Oh, not Bobby. Bobby Keys is out there. Eric Clapton, Leon Russell, the whole gang's out there. Yeah, just think they're going to call me out there any single day now. And that call never come. Now, I understand that was your George Washington moment. That was when you decided to turn from loyalist to traitor. Now, like I said, I wouldn't give a shit. I was going to take your side just for the hell of it. You know, right or wrong, Bobby, I didn't give a shit anymore. I've said to you, I don't like your music. I said to you, I don't care. But I think if you can get fucking Cocker Snoop on the Harrisons, all good for you. And then there was more tributes to you. And then the last tribute was more of an Indiana Jones adventure. And how did you treat that man? How did you treat him? A man who adores you, a man who idolizes you. No, you got your silly little script going just because, do you know what you did, which really fucked you off? You made your video about the remix, and yeah, you got it off your chest. And then you fucking come down, didn't you? You come down a couple of days later and said exactly what I predicted. You took it down, and then you left everybody adrift in a fucking lifeboat in the middle of the Atlantic. Yeah, all your best buddies, all the people who fucking spoke up for you, you did your old trick and retreated and left them to the mercy of the critics. And what makes me saddest of all is that the way you treated Guitar Historian, and now he's blaming himself. Now, if that was Mr. Mayo and Tom Hunyadi having a bitch fight, and you thought, oh, that's a bit below the belt, or oh, that's a bit below. Now, it doesn't matter because they're on level peggings, more or less. Or maybe that's what the argument will start over, that one of them's not getting maybe the viewers that the other's getting. But it doesn't matter. It's that kind of fight. But suppose, I know, darling, I don't want to talk about Bobby Whitlock, but we've got to get this out of the way. Supposing, now, Mr. Mayo, I understand it's a big deal and you can't just switch off like that. And you've got to find excuses of why he was a bastard to you. But you've had many dreams over Paul McCartney, as have I, and thought, you know what, if only Paul McCartney would meet me and we could talk. And I've never thought about what I'd talk about. Totally disagree with that point of view nowadays. But once upon a time, it was a reality. Now, it's never not become a reality because I've just lost interest in him. But Mr. Mayo's become more and more obsessed over the years. And now he's in a position where he can meet the great man himself. The great man says, fuck off, right? Now, that's the time in my life where I would have said, yes, thou art mortal. And I would have said, no, time to move on. And no matter what he releases, yeah, I'll be fair, but I'm not going to think the same way about that man ever again. and it's happened with other stars. We'll go into that in a special edition, but not today. But what I will say is that, Bobby, you ain't nobody, and you want to get yourself out there and respected for what you've done, which I don't deny. But the bottom line is nobody can hear you or anything you've done on either the remix or the original version. Or if you can hear you on the original version, it's very faint. So instead of playing stupid games with people who think the world of you, why don't you send some emails out saying, yes, we were greedy, we're trying to control what happened. Because do you know where it all went wrong, Guitar Historian, if you're listening? And I'll tell you the Whitlocks, because I found out that what went wrong was you withdrew, but the trouble is the cat was out of the bag. And now the Harrisons know, and you didn't want them to. You just kept wanting to do the old night attacks and then retreating like an Italian tank. And then all of a sudden that fucking script went out there and people started noticing who's Bobby Whitlock. Then all of a sudden you got all that unwanted attention and even helpful attention, and you freaked and you started trying to control it, put that genie back in the bottle. But it was too late, wasn't it? So when Guitar Historian says, let me help you, because you told Guitar Historian, oh, yes, we are being persecuted. So he followed it up. And he followed it up to a fucking dead end that led to the Whitlock's door, didn't he? Anyway, we're going to talk about Afghanistan now, because I think we've spoken enough about that fiend. Ratface Whitlock. I mean, it'd be all right if he'd written a couple of good songs, but all I've seen of him is this dreadful live performance where they're just shouting and going, rah, 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 and there's all this like someone's taken LSD when they're supposed to be performing at the end of the pier with Bye Bye Blackbird. You know what I mean? Oh, Bobby, you are such a fucking... You know what? You could have been a shining star had it not been for your dog. Had it not been for your dog, I would have forgive you any crimes. I would have. And Coco, you're the same. You're just fucking greedy. I know what you're like. Yeah. You're not going to get anything out of Bobby now, though. He's broke. He's finished. You might as well just go and run off with Dominic, hadn't you? I know Dominic's broke and he's got a heroin addiction problem, but he does do good heroin, doesn't he? Yeah, well, listen, young Lalushka, you want to talk to the audience? Yeah. Yeah. This is my company for the afternoon. And no, I don't need a woman by my side fucking nudging me and telling me what's what. My wife, she's in the big smoke and she's been promoted again. So do you know what? At the moment, I'm feeling like a subhuman up against and she's been invited to all these fancy balls and, you know, how much longer will you love me, Mavis? How much longer will I interest you with all these fancy ass people in town, all these charming fellows like John Heaton running around with their Savile Row suits and their $1,000 a night cocaine habits? How much longer will before you meet the man who says, oh, here we are, you want to meet Marty Pello, he's a friend of mine, you know what I mean? Or hey, you want me to be your dietitian and give you all the exercises like in the Mr. Motivator? I'm the man to do it. Yeah, when people get rich, they get horrible, don't they? And, you know, I can't see my wife ever doing that. But, you know, when I see me as the poor church mouse with just me engineering stuff behind me and just a bunch of life experience and being able to second guess people, probably that's why she's with me, because she said, you know what? She says, Ray, I always feel safe with you. And I says, you know, I don't know why, because I do tend to lose my temper a lot in public. She says, yes, but Because you're in the right. That's why. See, that's the kind of wife a man needs. Yes, all right. I'm going to deal with you. But what I'm going to say about Afghanistan is quite scandalous. I think America had to get out of there. I don't think they should have ever got in there. And I think the problem is, yes, I know. The problem is that these people are fucking lunatics. You should leave a country to have its civil war by itself. Once the Russians was there, you should have just left them alone. All right, they could have exploited the minerals, but they was up for a hard fucking rock against rock fight. And then you went in there and totally destroyed Rambo 3 because all of a sudden they hated your guts. Now, you know what that led to. But eventually, you killed... Who's that bloke with the turban who did the 9/11? Well, you got him down. Now, at that point, you should have said, job's done. See you later. There's no point changing this country because they're all nutters. Let's get out and nuke them. Right? So instead of that happening, all the goodies turned up. Oh, yes, we can give women the educations. Oh, we can let gay blokes hang around Kabul and like drinking gay bars, Bacardi Breezer, please, Gwyneth. You know what I mean? And it's not right for a place like that. These people are primitive almost. They're almost primitive. If you think people are going to get out safe, that's the fella. If you think people are going to get out of there without some kind of bloodshed, unless a lot of money's being handed to the Taliban right now, it depends what they want. But I'd say as individual fighters, you know, who's to say they might not get totally outraged by seeing a woman walking down the street in a skirt? That CNN reporter cracked me up. One night she's fucking standing there in her blouse and everything. Next day the Taliban's taken over. She's all roped up with her little letterbox. And she said, they're saying death to America, but in a friendly way. And you want to trust those people for 10 seconds? Oh, no, sir. They do prefer goats, and they actually prefer men, which is why the women can get so aggressive. You know, I mean, when it comes to chopping up foreigners, they're at the front of the queue to grab the testicles off your American servicemen and indeed our British servicemen. Yes, I think the best thing for this country is a nuclear bomb, kill all the people, and then follow that up with a big attack on China, followed by Iran, followed by Argentina, just for the fucking hell of it, yeah. Oh, and France, yeah, bomb France. Trouble is, though, it might mash up all the grapes, and I do like a glass of red wine, you know. I would say South African grape is better than the French grape nowadays because the geography's changed over the centuries. So there, you learn something every day. Good morning. I thought you'd all show up as soon as I start talking about Afghanistan, but you know, it was another American folly. But I think the worst thing that's happened is down to Joe Biden, and he was so desperate to make a political coup by saying, you know, after the 7/11 attacks or the 9/11 or the 12/11 attacks, we're gonna get all the boys home just in time. Now you might say, oh, that's great, but I'll tell you what it tells China, what it tells Russia, what it tells the Iran is that America's weak, it's pulled out, it's lost. And you know what I mean? It's only a matter of time because of the civil unrest in your own country, because of your weak leadership. It's only, you know, and we expect America to fucking defend our Western rights. And it's all going shit show at the moment. The communists seem to be taking over your country. We'll fall like fucking dominoes in Europe. We will fall like dominoes because you can't do your job. And as a world leader, as supposedly the good guy, you do have a fucking job to do. That's all I've got to say for you. And I'm not being anti-American. I'm just saying with great power comes great responsibility. And believe you me, as Churchill said, if you keep feeding the tiger, once you've run out of food, the tiger turn around and start eating you. And that's what's going to happen in America. All they need to do is shut down your communications, take out a couple of satellites. It'll be White House down. It could be China, it could be fucking North Korea. It ain't going to be North Korea now, but it could be China. So be careful. And don't let the lefties, you've got to get tough on the lefties like you used to be. I mean, you see these films about McCarthy now, and, oh, it's evil, it's horrible watching this. But it's not, that's propaganda. That's propaganda. You knew what you was doing in the 50s, keeping communism out, and it's coming for you. It's coming for you in all different fucking shapes and forms. Yes. I know, I tried to get on there a few minutes ago, but all I got was off Mr. fucking Gambo going. So I thought, I'm getting out of here. I think that John Winston was on there as well, but he was just sitting there like he was catching flies. Yes, so on that sad note, I'm starting my weekend. Excuse me, and we'll have a bit of a party later on. If I carry on drinking once I get home, my wife's getting a new coffee machine for me. So I'm going to have espressos morning, noon and night. Yes, I'm very excited. Present from her mum. Present from my mum because there's a Jewish holiday coming up called Rosh Hashanah. Anyway, if there's a Jewish person out there, you can tell me. But I just sort of, I think, presents and Jewish food. And some of that Jewish food's brilliant. And some of that Jewish food I've got into since I've known my wife, because she, on certain dates I have to go around, her family members and whatnot, and they do this religious stuff. Half of the stuff is shit, but half of it's bloody nice. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll all meet up again later and discuss things. And I'm sorry, Bobby, if you want to make a fucking video defending your opinion, because this will fucking affect you. People love animals. I love animals. I hate what you're doing. Yeah, you are brain damaged. That's the problem. You're both brain damaged. You don't know what you're fucking saying. But I'm telling you direct, fucking keep the dog and keep the puppy. Keep every fucking animal you bring in that house. You can't pick and choose, you fucking wankers. Goodbye, people.